there are actually some, so there are some spots.
I just can take another one.
Yes, because actually
Is here a Minada? Minada?
Yeah, me. There are not so many.
Because you're in a group of us.
Oh, sure. Today?
No. The topic.
This presentation. Institutional
No. I think I put like, sorry.
Yeah, you
I put like two.
But which one do you want to make? Because there are more students there, so it's Christian, Mina, and me. Yes,
Maybe.
As you read. Also sign here.
There's a
Yeah.
otherwise she will be alone. I can read her too.
So can we erase it?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
I also.
Oh, still have a setting for me.
Willst du trotzdem ganz hoch machen? Ja. Dann machen wir es jetzt
Nee, lass erst mal.
I chose education first, but then there's an announcement
Ah, yeah, I think.
Da musst du mal so
Kommentar
so 2-3 Minuten.
Let's all start slowly. So I'm actually not 100%, so my voice isn't working for it. So, yeah. So, yeah. If you cannot hear what I say, ask me again. So first thing that we need to fix today is about the missing spots for the presentations. Already Emil told me that he would like to take another spot, so poverty will become empty. So it would be great if some volunteers, especially from these 3 people groups, can take this topic. I know it's a bit early, it's in 2 weeks, but I think it's manageable. These are not very long tests, and I think it's managed. And we're missing inequality in agriculture, so, and well, poverty. So yes, I will ask you to please volunteer to take one of these topics. Anyone interested? That would like to change? Especially from these 2 groups. Christian, you're in 2?
No, I'm the first one. You can delete me.
From these. Okay.
Because you asked.
Yeah, I put it online. Yes, so if people from this group could.
Actually, they're not here yet. Like, it's me and 2 other people, but they're not.
They are not here. Okay. Are you in contact with them? Like,
I can be, yes.
okay. If you can please tell them, I can also
No, no, it's okay.
because I mean I put it on the Blackboard, but maybe it's more direct.
Yes.
Yeah, the thing is, we organize this thinking that 30 people come, but then 30 people subscribe and not 30 people came. So, yes, I mean, so here you can choose your own topic. Preferably one of these are empty. So it's inequality and social mobility and agricultural and rural development.
Oh, I
These are the
should
ones who are-
just now the topic.
It would be best, for example, if you're choosing inequality, then this is in 2 weeks.
Yes,
So
I will.
3 weeks actually.
I will just take a minute.
Yeah. I think poverty, inequality are pretty similar. If you are here this time.
Yeah.
Okay. purposes. Yes, so I just changed one last date for the final presentations. It's not gonna change your schedules at all. It's just for these final student presentations that then swapping with Manuel. So then instead, I think it was the 10th, it's the 3rd. So that will be the last day, and then we just have some lectures. So it's just the same days, nothing really changes, but I also, in case you downloaded the previous syllabus and you have this older date, just please note that it's like understand what exactly what it is.
Do you mind to recap, like, can you go back to the table, yes, and commenter
Yes.
on that? Like, can you please explain what do we have to comment again on that on each week?
Yeah, so this was my other important issue to fix. So there, I don't see everyone here. So every one of you should be at least once here in a date that is not the date that you're presenting. This is part of your participation as well. So the idea is, this is also in the syllabus. So what did we say on the first day? Yes, so you do like a formal comment. So it's basically, I don't know if you've been in like seminars or workshops where somebody presents their research and then another person kind of opens the discussion. So you will give like a comment that you read the paper and you, when you saw the presentation, you know a bit more how these presentations well suited to present this topic. So it's not long, it's just 2 or 4 minutes. So it's kind of, it could be any comment about the
It's not just the
content.
feedback, but also the comments on the content, right?
Yeah, it's feedback on the content.
Okay.
Also on the format, if you have these comments. I put here on the Blackboard, maybe it's good that I go over Blackboard. So in Blackboard, I think you have all the information you need for the course. So in announcements, I put the announcements if everything's new, the syllabus and important information. I try to, as soon as there's some change, I put the new version here. So just a few things have changed over the dates, and I have showed you. And I put it here, the latest version. This is this link and the presentation guide here. You have the information that you need. So for the group presentation, I just copy and paste what I presented on the first day. So I think you remember. This is more of a guide. Here you can be creative as well on your presentation. You don't have to follow these strict guidelines. And for the commentary, then these are guidance questions as well. So while you were asking, remind me your name. I'm gonna try to remember the name, but it's really difficult. Manda. Okay. So what were you asking? This is basically more or less what you can comment. In 2 or 4 minutes, maybe it's too little, but you can pick one of these. So what were the main insights of the presentation, of the paper that the presenter showed, and if there are any main ideas that you saw in the paper that were not explained, when you see, hey, maybe I could have seen this here. You can ask further questions that you have over the paper and create a discussion with the presenter, and also feedback. So mention like positive things that you like from the presentation in terms of how the content was structured, how the style of the presentation. So it can be, you like the colors of the slides. This is also valid. And also something that could be improved. I think I mentioned in the first class, this is a space for you also to practice your presentation skills. And sometimes little things matter for the audience. So of course, people have different opinions of what a good presentation is, but here you can get a lot of feedback from different worldviews, and this helps you to tailor your own style in the future. So the idea is that it's a constructive comment, constructive feedback, And yeah, with this framework, I think you can do it. You can also give your comments in person to this group. But the idea is that you open the discussion, and then everybody can comment and discuss. Does that make sense? Any further questions regarding this? Yeah, please.
One question, you included several publications to each topic in the presentation. One is called student presentation, and is my assumption correct that more or less the presentation should only be about this one paper and not about the others?
Exactly, you understood correctly. I'm happy for that. So let's see, weekly readings in the syllabus. You have every session marked with the topic and more or less what we will do. So today we were gonna, this was last week, but we are going to follow this guidance. And you always, well, maybe let's start from here. So next week, then we start the normal repeated student presentation days. So you have a mandatory text, and this you will have to read. We will discuss it in the first half of the class. They're pretty introductory texts, pretty easy to read. I checked that the pages are not too many, but anyway, they're pretty nice reads. And we discuss this topic as a preamble of this general theme or topic. And then the last half of the session is the student presentation. Okay, so this is the main idea. So for the student presentation, yes, it's only what it is in here. This is the requirement. Now, if you really like the topic and you feel like you want to read more, there is further readings options for you to enrich your knowledge, and maybe you can enrich the presentation as well. In the past, some students, what they did is that at the end they kind of did a summary of the readings, the further readings, and say like what new knowledge they have from that. But this is an extra thing that you can do to improve the general presentation of the topic. So yes, every time you see that there's only one reading for the student presentation. I think maybe once there were two. No, it's always one. Yeah. Okay, further questions regarding the syllabus? Yes.
The commentary is also about the presentation text, or is it about the
Yes. No, it's about the presentation text. If you happen to see some let's say relationship, I noticed that there is relationship between these two texts or contradiction maybe, and you can comment on that, but you focus on the student presentation for the commentary. And remind me your name?
No.
Okay. Any further questions? Okay, hopefully everything is clear, and starting from next week when we have this style of discussion, student presentation, and so on. Okay, so for today, then we continue with our topic of Latin American paradigms of economic growth. This is what I posted last week, and I think you all took a look. I was happy to see you commented in you posted a lot of questions on the discussion forums. I think we can.
She said that I have a major problem with my account, so I can't log in. I will go out and just call the campus management service. It's okay for you?
For campus management?
Yeah, just so you know, because I'm a little getting nervous right now. Because I don't know why I'm not coming into my account. So
what do you need that for?
I just want to tell you that I will be back in 10 minutes.
Okay.
To call someone.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, okay, so general lines about development theories. I think we have seen these in other classes before, but if we follow these Tovar and Smith, they kind of summarize a lot of the major development theories of the last century in like 4. So first of all, you have linear stages of growth, MAR. what we now call orthodox or classical, which where economic development is seen as a very clear path, linear process where most countries go through, and there are these successive stages of growth that each country must follow. So this kind of comes from, okay, what is development? How can we develop a country? Maybe we should look at the developed countries now and see how did they get there. And more or less is taking this idea that, okay, these countries industrialized, they saved, they invested, they created a new industry, they created new businesses, and they eventually kind of gained these points of mass consumption and well-being, etc., etc. Therefore, what we need for these countries that are not developed is just maybe some foreign aid, maybe some big push that these countries can start on this path, on these stages of growth. And there are some models in there as Rostow, that kind of follow this line of thought, this idea that countries maybe they just need some money to develop. Then you have the structural school. The idea is that, well, maybe only the money will not suffice. There are some structural things within these countries, like the lack of human capital, the lack of education, health, the lack of infrastructure that impedes these countries to develop. There are maybe some bottlenecks. And so we need to really focus on internal transformations. So try to change the structures of the country to sustain this rapid growth, and then we get into these stages of growth. So it's kind of also at the end getting to the conclusion, well, maybe we just need this to get into this more structural change or structural use of the money, really, to get into these, to be how these developed countries are now. Then you have some very different development theories, which really look at, for example, dependencies or dependencia, because it kind of was really pushed by the Latin American structural school. So dependencia is also looking at, or is looking at underdevelopment not as the only stages of growth, but that there are really hierarchies, power imbalances in the world that impede these countries which are on the periphery. So there's the center and periphery countries which are really not able by themselves to develop, because there are other things outside these countries that are impeding them. And it really calls for major policy changes that focus on poverty, inequality, and this topic of dualism. I think we will talk more about it later. But yeah, it focuses also on the trade part of the economy. So it's not only looking inside. I think the structuralist school, maybe the main difference is that it looks inside the country. What can we fix? How can we build our industry? How can we make people be more productive? And then our country will be ready to produce and to grow. But this dependency is really looking outside. What is happening in the exterior that is pushing us back. And maybe in a more historical way, there is this neoclassical or free market counter-revolution, which goes back a little bit to the classical. Okay, we just need free markets to work. We need open economies, the reign of private efficiency, and maybe you've probably heard this about, the markets, they kind of have equilibriums, and they, at the end, there's this invisible hand that will work out, and we hope these countries to develop. So I think this is, of course, a very simple way to put it. There's much more to them in every aspect. But as you can see, these themes kind of repeat themselves a lot. And even when we talk about new developmentalisms, we will see next week, a lot of these topics are from the basis. So you have, do we let the free market be free like 100%? or do we have more government, more state-led intervention that will get us to the point where we can be competitive, or where we call ourselves developed, which also this can be different for each country. So this is what we will focus on today, and I think you read the papers and you posted some comments, and we will take more of these like two differences rather than divide them into four. One is the orthodox classical view of free markets, and the other is the more structure-led development. So I think you saw the slides. The idea today is that we imagine we are in a beautiful island, maybe somewhere in the Caribbean, in Latin America. It's called San Teodoro. And what are some facts about San Teodoro? So it's a middle-income country. It has around 11 inhabitants. It has a GDP of $9,500 more or less per annum. Per capita GDP growth has averaged minus 1.4 over the last years, so a bit of a recession. And there are declining exports. So San Teodoro exported products worth 1.39 billion, and they have declined by an average of 2.9 over the last 5 years. Okay, and these non-oil exports have fallen by 2.6 annually over the last 5 years, and this is below the global average growth rate. The imports total 3.98, so 4 billion in 2020. And this left San Teodoro with a trade deficit for goods and services. So trade deficit, I think everybody knows what it means, or so these are the exports of San Teodoro. What can you see here? How is it structured? What is the biggest one?
Commodities.
Yeah, so you have commodities in general, and here then you have like different sectors which will tell you the sector specifically. So cigarettes, sugarcane, nickel, zinc. So here you have more like the agriculture in yellow. These are other type of commodities, and then you have in red or brown maybe the minerals or the mining part of the production of the country. Okay, so imports, what you see here.
The major import is food.
Yeah, so if you see these as a whole, the group, yeah, it's food also, so they also import these commodities. And so you have this big chunk of commodities or other types that are not specified as their imports. And yeah, that's what we need to know. So this country was around 31 years suffering from one dictator that was really harsh with his people, and suddenly a group of men and women, they decided, no, this guy needs to go, and then this dictatorship ended. So now there is a junta, and they want to implement democratic elections, and this will be for 15 years it was the dictatorship. So this is the first time that they have these democratic presidential elections. And so this is what we will simulate. So we will simulate, we will create two parties where we have one party that is more pro the state-led industrialization, and another group that is more liberalized the markets and more like this classical view. So let's form in these two groups. I think everybody is in a group, no? From last time? Is anybody not in a group? Okay, what would you prefer?
State-led.
State-led, okay. So then just join them wherever they are.
not based on the text that we read, just what we think is more interesting.
No, based on the text that you read.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be easier. Yeah. So those who are in the state-led group, raise your hands. Okay, it's a bit imbalanced, but it's okay, we will survive. So please get onto one side of the, maybe here, since this is a bigger space. And then the other group that are only very please come on this side. Mainly, actually, there is a
Oh, really?
Ja. Der Rest ist zweite Gruppe alles. Eigentlich so komplett gegen aber ich habe das gegessen. Zu zweit wahrscheinlich. Die beiden waren schon da. Die beiden sind zwei.
Are you always one?
There is one option if one of the groups wants to go to group and they can get noisy. Yeah.
Ja, lass uns.
So, I mean, we can try it here. If you feel it's too noisy, then it's this room, K05. What do you prefer? So, but before you go, the idea is that you prepare. I think you already have questions, okay? So you prepare, elect one candidate who will be your president candidate. And you have to help this person prepare a speech, no? Hopefully 5 minutes. And also choose the questions that you want to ask to the other candidates. So that you know how a debate is, you kind of want this person to fail. So for the other group the same, so you choose a candidate and choose the questions that you will ask the president candidate from the group. And for this you have around 15 minutes. I will go and see if you can.
Alright.